People usually think Valentine's Day was always about romance. Flowers. Chocolates. A card with the right words. But if you step back for a moment, the story doesn't begin there. It actually starts in a much colder place. Ancient Rome. This was a world built on discipline, order, and power. Love wasn't something you celebrated publicly. It was something you managed. Sometimes even controlled. During this time, Rome was constantly at war. Soldiers were expected to be loyal, focused, and ready to fight. Marriage, according to the state, softened them. Love made men hesitate. And hesitation, in an empire, was dangerous. So marriage for soldiers was banned. Not because love was evil, but because it was inconvenient. And that tells you something important already. Valentine's Day didn't begin as a celebration of romance. It began in a world where love was seen as a problem. Somewhere inside that world lived a Christian priest named Valentine. We don't know much about his daily life. No diary. No detailed records. Just fragments passed down quietly through history. What we do know is this. Valentine believed marriage mattered. Not as a political act, but as a human one. So when couples came to him in secret, he didn't turn them away. He married them quietly. No crowds. No celebrations. Just promises spoken softly, often at night. And he knew exactly what he was risking. Because in Rome, disobeying the emperor wasn't symbolic. It was final. Eventually, Valentine was arrested. Not for romance. Not for flowers. But for choosing people over power. He disappeared into the system the way many names did back then. Quietly. Without headlines. And yet this is where something strange begins. Because his story didn't end with silence. Valentine was executed sometime in mid-February. That much is generally agreed on. The exact day, though, was never written down. No official record. No clear date carved in stone. That detail matters more than people realize. Because Valentine's Day isn't tied to a precise moment. It's tied to memory. Decades passed. Then centuries. Christian communities kept his name alive, not loudly, but steadily. As a symbol of conscience. Of choosing compassion when it cost something. By the late 5th century, the Roman world had changed. The empire was fading. The church was becoming the keeper of memory. In the year 469 AD, the Roman Church made a decision. Under Pope Gelasius I, February 14th was officially chosen as the day to remember Valentine. Not because it was confirmed as the day he died, but because it was close enough to hold meaning. That honesty is important. The Church didn't claim certainty where none existed. They chose remembrance over precision. And for a long time, that's all the day was. A quiet feast day. A name on a calendar. No romance. No hearts. Just remembrance. It stayed that way for centuries. Then something unexpected happened. Poets. In medieval Europe, writers began linking mid-February with the idea of choosing a partner, of birds pairing off, of human affection mirroring nature. Slowly, Valentine's name drifted from sacrifice to connection. Not overnight. Not officially. Just through stories. Lines of poetry. Shared imagination. And that shift changed everything. By the time Valentine's Day became romantic, its origins were already far behind it. People weren't thinking about Roman soldiers anymore. Or secret weddings. Or quiet resistance. They were thinking about choice. That's the thread that never disappeared. Valentine didn't become a symbol of love because he wrote letters or gave gifts. There's no solid evidence he did. He became a symbol because he chose people when it was easier not to. Because he treated love as something worth protecting, even when it wasn't rewarded. Over time, his name absorbed meaning. Sacrifice. Commitment. Choosing the heart when it's not safe or simple. And that's the part we often miss today. Valentine's Day didn't start as a celebration of romance. It started as a quiet disagreement with power. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was human. That's why the day survived. Not because of tradition alone, but because the story underneath it still feels familiar. We still live in a world that tells us what's practical, what's efficient, what's acceptable. And every so often, we're asked to choose something softer. That's what Valentine's name came to represent over time. Not just love, but the courage to choose it, even when it's hard. And that's where Valentine's Day really comes from.